In this lesson, we will talk about variables. We will learn what variables are, how to declare and use them. Welcome to the second lesson. Are you ready to start learning about constants and variables? Let's start, and let's start from the program of the previous lesson. As you remember, this program was writing a text on the screen, and the text was the phrase "Hello World." As you remember, I said "Hello World" is a constant, because it doesn't change in the program, and it is a string, so a text enclosed in quotation marks. Usually, when you have a program, you want to put the things that can be customized at the beginning of the program, or anyway all together in a way that if you need to customize the program for different clients, you just go in one place and you can do your customization. So it can be useful to have a name instead of this text, and the text, the value assigned to this name in a place where you put all the declaration. This is called a constant. We can do this at the beginning of our program. We just declare a constant with the word const. We give it a name, text, a type, string, and the value, that is hello world. We indent our declaration, because usually we use indentation to make the code more readable. And then we change this text with the constant, the name of the constant we just created. So text. The program will do exactly the same, but this time at the beginning of the program we add the text. We can just customize editing this line. For a small program like this, we just made by one line, doesn't make sense. But imagine a program with thousands of lines. If everything that needs a customization is just at the beginning of the program, or anyway in just one place, it's easy to customize it. Let's run our program and let's see if it works like before. As you can see, it writes hello world like before and exit with code 0, so no error. It acts exactly like before, but this time we have our constant declared with a name, so we can change the value without touching the program, because the program will write the value of the constant named text. Sometimes in the program we need even to change the values, not just get it as constant and write them. So we need to create something that is called a variable. A variable, like the name says, is something that can vary during the execution of the program. So we can declare a variable using the reserved word var. Then we give to the variable a name. Again, we can call it a text. We specify the type. Again, is a text string, so the type is string. And then we assign the value exactly like we did for the constant. So hello world. This time we have something that can be changed in the program. So we can have another line in the program that says text equal hello YouTube. In this case, our variable will be created, declared. Usually the right word is declared with the name text and the value hello world, that is a type string. But during the execution of the program, the value changes in hello YouTube. Let's try to run it. As you can see, now the text is hello YouTube, because I changed the text during the execution of the program. If I remove this line, you will see that the text will be back the same of when a variable has been initialized. You see, it's hello world. The way to initialize the variables giving an initial value is very common in Go programs. So there is a way to make it easier. We can, for instance, write text colon equal hello world. This way we declare a variable called text with the value hello world. As you can see, we don't need to write the word var, and we don't need to specify the type, because the operator colon equal will look at the value and assign to the name text the right type for the content. Let's try to run it. And we have hello world. We can also have more than one variable and make operation on the variables. For instance, I can have one variable called text1 that is value is hello. I can have another variable called text2 initialized with the value world. In this case, we can do text1 plus text2, and we will write the two variables just concatenated. Let's try. I have hello world. We can also mix constant and variables. For instance, I can have a constant called separator, type string, that is just a space. So we put a space between the two quotation marks. I can write text1 plus separator plus text2. In this case, I will have hello space world. Let's try. As you can see, it's hello world. I can also, of course, assign to another variable the result of concatenating one variable to another or to a constant. So I can call a variable test3 initialized with the value text1 plus separator. So I'm creating a variable with the initial value that is the concatenation of test1 and the separator. And then here I can print just, let's call test3. I can write test3 plus test2. I will still have hello world. Let's try. As you can see, nothing changed. So we learned that we can declare a variable or more variables this way, easier than declaring the type, and we can make operation, and we can even do operation on the strings just when we declare a string. There is another way to declare variables. If we have to declare many variables, we can write something like this: var, open a parenthesis, and between the parentheses we can put the name of the variables. Test1 equal hello, text2 equal, we can write just to change something, my, with a space at the end, and we can call text3 equal world. So we can now write test1 here plus text2 plus text3, and we will have hello my world written on the screen. Let's try. As you can see, the console will have the test hello my world. Let's talk about the names of the constants of the variables. The names must start with a letter and may contain letter, numbers, or the underscore symbol. Please remember to give to variables or constants name that makes sense, because in a small program like this, if you call a variable test1, test2, test3, it's not a big problem because it's a very small program. Imagine to have a program with thousands of lines. If the variables or the constants or the elements don't have a name that makes sense what they are for, probably in 1 month you will not be able to read your code, and the other people will not be able to read your code from the beginning. So remember to give to everything names that make sense. So if you have a variable that contains a sum, let's call it sum. If you have a variable that contains a name of a client, let's call it name. Just give name that makes sense. So let's recap on what we learned today. We learned how to declare a constant, how to declare a variable, the different ways to declare a variable, and we learned how to concatenate test variables, string variables, to make a more complex test. Next lesson we will learn about numeric variables and constants, and we will learn about the operation we can do on numbers. So I hope you like this lesson. If so, please click like and subscribe to the channel and stay with us. Let's start coding now.